What is up, my friends? You are very welcome along to Tuesday night late night news roundup here on Anfield Agenda, where I'm going to do my best to keep you right up to date with where we are in the pursuit of Marc Guehi, if indeed we are still in that pursuit. Manchester City look like they're ready to plop a load of money down on the table for wages and for a transfer fee. We're going to discuss the three clubs that apparently are of interest to Xabi Alonso. We'll talk about Micky van de Ven, a behind closed doors friendly, and no breakthrough with the Ibrahim Konate contract situation. That and lots more to come up over the next few minutes. I do apologise about not being able to live stream today. Health just hasn't been able to let me do it. Doing the watch along yesterday took a little bit too much out of me. I probably came back a little bit too early. So I guess I need to learn. I'm getting a little bit older and I need to look after myself a bit better. So I hope to see you back here tomorrow for a live stream. But if I don't worry. We'll still keep you right up to date with where we are. Connor will be here in the morning with a news update. I'll be here in the afternoon. And all going to plan should be here tomorrow evening. But for now, you're not here to hear me waffle. Let's get stuck into the news. So, Florian Wirtz has 5 goal involvements in his last 6 matches across all competitions for Liverpool. He had an assist against Spurs, a goal against Wolves, he had a goal against Fulham, and he had a goal and an assist against Barnsley. Not too shabby indeed for a player that some outside of the Liverpool fan base were only too quick to try to write off. Now, I mentioned at the start of the video that Xabi Alonso has 3 clubs in mind that he could go on to manage next. Those clubs are Liverpool, Manchester City, and Bayern Munich. Now, I have to say I'd be very surprised if he did take up the Manchester City job if we were in the mix. But this is what we don't know. Where FSG's heads are at, where our owners' heads are at. We spoke earlier on in the video about where things currently lie for Arne Slot, and any more downturn in form could see the owners spark their interest. But Liverpool fans seem to be divided on this one. On our stream last night, there was certainly plenty of support for the idea of Xabi Alonso, but looking across social media today and looking across other platforms, it seems as if there's a mixed reception on the idea of whether Alonso would indeed be the right man to come in or not. So do let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section. For what it's worth, I'm not saying he'd be my number one target. That would be Enrique from Paris Saint-Germain. But I got to say, Xabi Alonso would be certainly up there in the top 3 for me. And would I sack Arne Slot to bring him in? I would. Yeah, I would. I can't get away from that, folks. I would. I do think Arne will likely see out the season, like I've said many times, and then be relieved of his duties unless something drastic happens, like a Champions League victory. Remember, he does only have 1 year left on his Liverpool contract when this season is up, so keep an eye on that situation. But according to Dario AS, Manchester City, Bayern Munich and Liverpool are the 3 clubs that Alonso could be interested in next. Now, Independent has said, exclusive breaking bombshell, Micky van de Ven is ready to blow up the transfer market this summer, and guess what? Our exclusive sources are screaming Liverpool is his dream destination. He doesn't need his sources for this one. Micky van de Ven pretty much said it himself in the past. He even attended a game, I think, with his brother or his father when he was younger at Anfield, and it's been no secret that it's been a desire of his to come and play at Anfield. But the question I want to ask you guys is, would you be happy if Van de Ven came in? I would. I've always said over the last time since he's gone to Spurs, he feels like the one that's gotten away from me. Yes, he has had some injury concerns, and they are worth considering, but I do think he is a top-quality centre-back with pace to burn. We're going to move on to speak about Marc Guehi in a moment, and I'm starting to get a bit worried in that scenario, as we are sitting here now, Tuesday, 13th of January, and Liverpool are still sitting on their hands in the transfer market with no real movement. So, on that front, this piece here from The Athletic said on Monday, a source close to Alonso and Alonso's coaching staff pointed out the extreme difficulty of coaching players with such big egos, which is of course the case at Galactica-ridden Real Madrid. A second such source said Madrid did not have a team interested in training. It's crystal clear that it's not a coaching problem, one player told The Athletic in December. So it's not a coaching problem, it's very much an attitude problem for those players. And like I've said before, it was always going to be an uphill task there for Alonso going in if he didn't have the backing of Florentino Perez and those in positions of power to allow him to implement the standards he wanted. You can't win. If player power is winning at a football club, you can keep going through coaches. They put Arbeloa in the job now, and let's be honest, it feels like he's just somebody there to go through the motions with the players in the training ground and then hope that the players can deliver their moments of excellence to bring the European Cup back to Madrid, because No coach worth his salt is going to want to go in there and really have to deal with that. The rumours of the likes of Jurgen Klopp going in made me laugh out loud. There's no way he'd want any of that. So, Ibrahim Konate, apparently he doesn't want any of that red stuff. Well, at least according to this piece here from AOC Cop quoting The Athletic, who say Ibrahim Konate is on track to exit due to his contract expiring and that there has been no breakthrough on new terms. None. I've said for ages now, it doesn't take that long to figure this out. If you have a number and the club know that number and they don't want to get to that number, it isn't going to take this long. This feels like we're all being led on a merry dance again where we have to pretend that everything will be grand, even though the newspaper articles will start, the contract talks will have stalled, and same stuff you've seen happen with Trent all over again, except this time, I think we're in a bigger problem because we have one fit centre-back to go alongside him, and then Joe Gomez is coming back from injury, and let's be honest, has been up and down. Now, Lewis Steele said Trainee Only, Calvin Ramsey, Will Wright and Callum Scanlon all featured in a friendly this afternoon against Wrexham, a side featuring Jay Rodriguez, Paul Mullen and Connor Cody at the AXA. It finished 1-1 with Trent Cone-Doherty scoring for the Reds. So good to see those youngsters getting good quality minutes there, and against the Wrexham side I would say good quality minutes for those younger players. So maybe this is a bit of a make-up to those players who aren't really getting many first-team chances. We spoke earlier on about the real lack of minutes Trainee Only's had since Arna's come to the club. So this from Alex Crook said that Manchester City are considering stepping up their interest in Marc Guehi with a formal bid. Crystal Palace's asking price has been set at over £35 million, as we've reported for a while, and it's unlikely City will go that high. Guehi is seeking a wage of around £200,000 a week. Now look, the thing is, I still don't understand what Liverpool are doing here. Because they could be of the mindset that Marc Guehi's given his word, like I've said, that he wants to join the Reds. But if Crystal Palace agree a deal that will see Marc Guehi go to a club that will still be challenging for top honours, we'll see his club get a fee and himself, of course, get a nice signing on fee and a 200 grand a week wage, well, then what's going to happen? I really don't know. I just don't understand how we have not made a move in the centre-back market yet. It's irrelevant to me who the coach is even going to be longer term, because Marc Guehi would be a player that would be welcomed by any coach, whether it's Alonso, whether it's Slot, whether it's whomever. Enrique, it doesn't matter. He's a top-quality English international defender, and he's at the peak of his powers. We wanted him badly in the summer. We made the bid, we tried to get him in, and now we could go and pay the same fee when we're absolutely desperate. And you could argue even more desperate now than we were in the summer. Because remember, when that deal failed at the last minute for Marc Guehi, we'd already signed Giovanni Leone. Now, we didn't know exactly what was going to happen with Leone with regards to playing time, but at least we knew we had another body. Since then, he's been ruled out for the season, and we're getting to the business end of the season now. We're currently in 4th place, so we're not exactly flying high in the Premier League, but still in the Champions League qualification spots as it is. We're into the 4th round of the FA Cup, where we have a tricky home tie against Brighton and Hove Albion, but the real crux of the season will be measured by how the Reds get on in the Champions League. And nobody's going to convince me that we aren't rolling the dice if we don't bring in another centre-back, because if Virgil was to pick up an injury, we're going to have Joe Gomez and Konate as our centre-backs. One of them out of contract in the summer and the other one almost sold in the summer and most likely to be sold next summer. It doesn't exactly scream confidence to me. So I want to know what you guys think on it. Where do you think Marc Guehi goes? Do you think Liverpool will put a bid in? And if so, why are we already leaving it this late? I want a centre-back and I want one in ASAP, and I know I'm not alone in this. So, Sky Sports Germany have said Bayern Munich have not given up on signing Crystal Palace and England defender Marc Guehi. They believe Guehi would prefer to follow fellow Englishman Harry Kane to Germany, with the chance of trophies both domestically and in Europe quite good. Manchester City and Liverpool remain in the chase. Look, with all due respect, I don't know Marc Guehi's preference. Does he want to go to Germany and win the Bundesliga like Bayern Munich have done most of the time? Perhaps. or does he want to go and try to win the Premier League, which he has a very good chance of doing with Liverpool or Manchester City? European success-wise, I would argue he probably has a stronger chance with the English clubs, although let's see how Bayern get on this year. But either way, as you can see, the race is heating up, and Liverpool's name is starting to move further and further and further down in this conversation, and we're almost halfway to the January transfer window. So that is it for tonight, ladies and gents. It's over to you now. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Really appreciate your support as always. Don't forget to drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Connor be here in the morning with an early video. I'll have an evening roundup. And then fingers crossed, health allowing, I'll be back for a late night agenda. Appreciate you all. Much love. Bye-bye.